the information we got this week, they tell the team on Wolford gets the majority of the snaps. Do you feel like from a quarterback's perspective, that means we'll probably see John?
Well, there's a lot of lying that goes on with these head coaches because the defensive,
it's called the NFL truth.
Well, yes. The defensive coordinators are putting in the game plan. So you're okay telling them who the quarterback's going to be, but you want to tell them after they do their third down package, after they do their red zone package. I think something that Sean McVay realized, though, is that Wolford is actually a legitimate threat as a runner. 56 yards running last week, and he's got the naked bootleg game, and so that's an added dimension that he knows that Seattle has to think about. So it gives him a good reason to wait on announcing who the starter is.
Yeah, it makes sense from a strategic standpoint. Let's get back to the Seahawks offense, though. It's been an interesting year for this offense because we started the year with just the entire city of Seattle, maybe the entire country, saying, let Russ cook, and he went off. And we started to talk about MVP for him early on in the season. Then kind of some ebbs and flows as they relied more on the running game. What do you think Russell has to be today for them to get the win?
I think he's got to play different against this Rams team. In Seattle, we're used to see them scoring a ton of points. They've been a little bit out of sync lately. They've not been scoring a lot of points. I think you just got to take the easy ones. In 2 games against the Rams, he's been sacked 11 times. Get the ball out of your hands. Here we are last week against San Francisco. Moore's wide open at the goal line. Just take it. Just take it right there. This has not been Russell Wilson's style of play. Usually it's hero ball. I'm going to make someone miss. I'm going to be on SportsCenter Top 10. These are incredible plays, but you're doing it the hard way. I mean, it just looks so much more difficult. Check out this camera guy. Let's see what it looks like from the field level. There's the touchdown if you want it. Nope, I'm going to scramble around. Look how hard Lockett's got to fight. And now this is a penalty and it gets called. Look how hard. This is like impressive beyond belief. But I just don't know if you have that much time with Aaron Donald and company rushing the passer. You might have to play a little bit differently against this team.
So you want him to play a little bit more safe? That's what you're saying. Get it out of his hands. I mean, I disagree. I disagree because I think there's no choice. He has no choice that he has to be special and provide those highlight plays. So I have your tape. I'm going to counter it with the tape of my own if you don't mind. Okay?
One-upper.
And I am a one-upper. So this is what it's about. This is who he is. These are the highlight plays you're talking about after this catch. But let me show you why. Let's rewind it, Samson, all the way to the beginning and show you why he has to be that special. Let's show you Aaron Donald, and quickly, ball is snapped. Put a timer on it because I want to show you. Pow! He's beat. 1.4 seconds. That offensive lineman's looking for Easter eggs down there because he's beat, and that's how special Aaron Donald is. So this type of game is why I love it so much. Is you're going to see the greatness of one of the best to ever do it in Aaron Donald, and he's going to be in that pocket right off the bat, and Russ just has to because no one can block him. He'll be there, and Russ has got to do that cooking stuff.
I'm not taking away. Like, sure, he's going to have to make those plays. We know that. It just can't be that all the time.
In this one, Lamar Jackson is still looking for his first career playoff win, and his postseason career started with a loss against the Chargers in that 2018 wildcard round. Then last season, the Ravens entered the playoffs as the #1 seed in the AFC, but Baltimore was upset at home by the Titans in the divisional round, losing 28-12. And he faced the Titans again in Baltimore in Week 11 this season. But after the Ravens raced out to a 21-10 lead early in the third, Tennessee took over and won 30-24 in overtime. Randy, Lamar's heard all about this. You can't win a playoff game. He knows all about the narrative. What do you think he needs to do particularly tomorrow to get over the hump?
Well, I don't really think it's just Lamar Jackson. I think it's the offensive coordinator, Greg Roman, to really understand that this is a team effort, that it's 11 guys on that field. I think in the past, with them being able to have a guy like Lamar Jackson, they have relied too much on Lamar Jackson in their running game. But when you have a rookie like Dobbins, you got Gus the Bus, you have the Mark Andrews, and then you have a guy like Dez Bryant is showing up in the end zone every now and then. So I think collectively it is a team over there, and I do not want them to forget about the 10 other guys that they have on that team going with Lamar Jackson.
Yeah, and when I look at this thing, you're right. Let's throw the ball about half the time, and I think you're more effective. But when I look at it, I'll flip the side of the ball, man. I look at this Baltimore Raven team, and Eric DeCosta, he learned from Ozzie Newsome, the best GM I've ever seen. And what'd he say? We need Calais Campbell. We need somebody to stop a Derrick Henry. And I'm going to show you a little tape here of Derrick Henry against the Baltimore Ravens, Week 11, I believe it was. They ground and pounded. Look at the second down. Look at the line of scrimmage. Baltimore wins the line of scrimmage, so they're going to stop Derrick Henry. They get off blocks. But I'm going to fast forward to the fourth quarter. Now look what happens. The D-line's catching, and Derrick Henry's allowed to get to that second and third level. Forget about it, man. I mean, that is trouble, and he wears you down. So it's not just how it looks at the beginning of the game, it's at the end. But when I mentioned you're going to see this overtime run here, this is a touchdown run. And it closed out the game, obviously, wins with the touchdown run. But I mentioned earlier about Eric DeCosta. What did he do? He went out and got Calais Campbell. He went out and got Derek Wolfe. All right? Those two guys and Brandon Williams, who never played in the last two meetings with these teams, make a huge difference. You're going to have more depth at the end of the game to play, and I think that could be a huge deciding factor. We'll talk more about it, obviously, tomorrow, but man, oh man, it's going to be a great one. And I can tell you this, Wink Martindale is happy to have Calais Campbell, and so we'll see the difference it makes.
Rex, I agree with what you're saying with the defense, but I think that something that I see happening is people are discounting Lamar Jackson. I think partly because he's such a great runner, and partly because they started out, he didn't have the MVP-type numbers early in the year. But in the last 5 weeks, Lamar Jackson, the passer, has been incredible. His completion percentage is better than Drew Brees, better than Russell Wilson, better than Patrick Mahomes. He's got the best QBR in the entire NFL in the last 5 weeks. This guy is hot. He's hot as a runner, obviously, but as a passer, we don't give him enough credit. And what do we say all the time? It's all about the team that gets hot at the right time. The Baltimore Ravens are a team you do not want to play right now. Their quarterback is playing great as a passer and obviously as a runner.
Quickly, excuse me, Brew. Do you remember what Lamar Jackson said a couple of weeks ago, how they was taking each regular season game? They said, this is our playoff. They wanted to get into playoffs. So you speaking about Lamar Jackson being probably the hottest player in the National Football League right now, Matt, I'd agree with you. Sorry, Brew.
That's all right. Sometimes the team you play overrides any situation. I mean, playoff game, preseason game, no matter when it is, the team you play. And that's what I'm starting to see with these two teams. And it's the way the Ravens should be. It's the way the Ravens should see the Tennessee Titans, because the Tennessee Titans have absolutely stolen their soul, in my opinion. Who do the Ravens pride themselves on? We're the bullies on the block. We do this well. No, you're not. The Ravens play it better. They pound it down your throat. They run the fake punts. They do all that stuff. So playoff game, Lamar shouldn't even be thinking about that. It's about establishing who you are to the entire league. No, we're the toughest team. That's what they have to do in this game.
Yeah, and history tells me Baltimore is not going to be bullied 3 times in a row.
You think so?
We're going to see. You know what? We're going to see.
We'll talk about this
I know you got braves, and I got my
These two
boys
will
right
be
there.
interesting on the pregame
just
show
behave
tomorrow.
pregame, okay?
I do want to know something, though.
apart.
Both of these teams
Please.
priding themselves on toughness. Teddy, who is the tougher between them?
The answer is obvious right now.
I agree.
Who the tougher team is. All right, and it's the Tennessee Titans.